Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we will have Mike and Laura Kondratuk from Brookings in the studio with me. They're going to come in to talk about their book called By God's Grace. It talks about their life as Catholics. Mike had a very deep conversion early on, and then some tragedies that hit their family and how they handled those. It's a really, really great book. They're really a beautiful couple and a great family. And one thing I have to mention, because we forgot to mention it in the interview, is that their book is available at Mustard Seed in Sioux Falls. So you can get it there. But stick around for the interview so you can hear all about it and then decide if you want to go get the book.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, of course you'll want to go get the book.
Of course, because they're fabulous. Yes. So we have Dr. Chris Bergwald here to give us some biblical bites with Dr. B, for Dr. B, on the second Sunday of Lent. I'm going to just say it before you do anything to
Folks,
make me look stupid.
You got to watch last week's episode of Biblical Bites to understand what's going on.
I really did I wasn't very good.
It was fun. So as you said, second Sunday in Lent. Now, when we recorded last week's, I mentioned how the gospel for the first Sunday of Lent is always about
For the first Sunday, always about the temptation of the devil.
Yes. I was, because you got that right, when we recorded that like 10 minutes ago. Right. So I was a little like, Renee, you just told me. The gospel for the second Sunday of Lent is also always about something. This one, do you have any idea? And Bill is no good because he has not prepped.
Right.
Correct.
I haven't done that yet.
I have not.
Let's see. What would it be?
It's a little surprising, to be honest.
Is it? It's not the baptism. They don't go back, I don't think.
No. That's back in January.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
The Transfiguration.
Oh. Yeah, that is kind of...
So it's...
Is it weird? I don't know.
Well, we're in Lent, which is, whatever. And the church gives us this second Sunday of Lent a reminder if that...
Because we do the Transfiguration some other time, too, don't we? Or no? Or is this the only time it happens in the...
August.
Okay.
August.
That's what I was thinking. 7th? So we kind of get it twice.
We do. But the fact that we get it, I think, in Lent is a little bit quizzical because it's a glorious event.
Right.
And Lent is not, most people don't think of Lent as a glorious season in the church year. But we're not going to talk about the Transfiguration.
Oh.
So I want to talk about the first
I had a theory.
reading.
Okay,
I know. Well, you can save it till August.
But it has to do with Lent, so that's not going to work.
Save it till next year.
Okay.
Genesis 15, this is one of my favorite readings. Lord God takes Abram outside. You're going to get the really fast. So if you watch in double speed, you're going to want to slow it down.
Right.
Lord God took Abram outside, said, look up at the sky, count the stars if you can, just so shall your descendants be. He then said to him, so Abraham, how will I know? God said to Abram, I am the Lord who brought you from the Ur of Chaldeans to give this land as a possession. O Lord God, he asked, how am I to know I shall possess it? He answered him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old she-goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Abram brought him all these, split them in two, placed each half opposite the other, but the birds he did not cut up. Birds of prey swooped down on the carcasses, but Abram stayed with them. As the sun was about to set, trance fell upon Abram, and a deep, terrifying darkness enveloped him. When the sun had set and it was dark, there appeared a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch, which passed between these pieces. It was on that occasion that the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying something we don't have time to talk about. What just happened besides me reading really quickly?
That is one of the most bizarre...
What the heck is...
Yes.
So bring me some animals. Cut them in half. Walk between them. I'll put you into a trance, and then you're going to see a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch.
It all sounds terrifying, to be honest.
So this is the establishment... It was on that occasion that the Lord made a covenant with Abram. Mm-hmm. So in the ancient world, when you made a covenant, we've talked about covenant before. Mm-hmm. When people's made covenant, one way there would be rituals. Today we get fancy pens or whatever for special covenants, but there'd be rituals and sometimes elaborate rituals. And one ritual was, you would get these different animals, you cut them in half, and both parties of the covenant would pass between the animals, symbolically saying, we've never talked about symbolically saying, if I violate the terms of the covenant, may what happened to these animals happen to me. May I be split asunder.
Oh my goodness. So some serious business here.
So a covenant is being established, but who, in my very quick reading of the account, Renee, who passed between in the midst of the animals?
Well, Abram did.
Abram
but then,
did not.
Oh, he didn't.
No. All that happened was he falls into a trance, and a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch do, which are, it's God appearing.
God, right.
So God is the only one who passes through. So first of all, God is establishing a covenant using a similar ritual that Abram's people would have used.
Mm-hmm.
God does that as well. So he's establishing a covenant with a man and his descendants. But he's the only one who binds himself definitively to the terms of the covenant because he knows that Abram is not going to be up to it.
Yeah.
But still, you get this really violent ritual that establishes a covenant between God and Abram.
I'm really glad you explained that because when I hear that in Mass, I'm going to be very confused.
Yeah,
Thanks.
There you go. You bet.